Okay, so we want it to have sort of a fall off effect on our for our cluster. So all the vertices we need to edit their weighting information. So to paint clusters, well, the way I like to do this anyhow is if you just go to General Editor's Component Editor, and we want to go to Weighted Deformers. There's our cluster number 1. We probably should rename that before we're done. Since it's the only one we have right now, it's not a big deal, but we definitely will want to. Okay, and then we don't have any values in here right now until we get towards the bottom. So there's a list of all of our values here. So we need to drop these off a little bit. So what I'm going to do, you go to Object Mode, and I'm going to Isolate Select by clicking this little button here, and that's going to hide everything but what I have selected. And I'm going to select just these vertices so I can see just them, the ones that are being controlled by the cluster. Okay, and maybe a better way to do that even is just go into Edge Mode, because these ones in the center here, they need to be controlled 100%. But this set here, and we have to, so I double-clicked the edge ring, or the edge loop, and I'm going to shift-click and change that to vertices. Okay, so now I know all of these need to be different. Okay, but how much different? I don't really know. So what we need to do is we'll unisolate select it. We'll grab our locator. I'm not sure why that's not letting me scale. I must have a tool setting. Weird. Okay, so now I've got that done. Now I'm going to isolate select again. And we go to Edge Mode. I'm going to control 2 vertices, so I have just these selected. Now I want to change these values. Okay, so what I can do is I can select them all. I'm going to set this side to 0, and I can just grab this slider and watch these vertices, and they'll come in. And so we can make sure that outside ring of vertices doesn't move as much as the inside ring. And we want to try to keep it proportional, most likely, the ratio to be the same distance as it was before it was dilated. Okay, so I've got that set to 0.586. That looks pretty good to me. It looks like it's sunk in a little deep. Okay, but we'll see how that looks. Okay, so now if I select this locator and scale it, I can dilate the eye. Okay, now I've obviously got something else going on here too. And we need to do the same thing with the other pieces of geometry. We need to make sure that their fall off is accurate as well. Okay, so we'll select that. Let me play with it a second longer, and might need to turn this back on so I can actually see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to set this back to 1 for now, not 0, 1. And I'm going to select this and hide it, or actually add it to my layer. And now I can see what's going on better. Okay, so I got this edge ring here. So F8, edge mode, double click that, control left click, 2 vertices, then open up our component editor. And actually, before I do all that, I should probably scale it up, but we'll just take these and we'll run them down to say 0.5 for now. So let me being controlled to 50% by that cluster. Okay, so we'll scale this up. It's pretty good. Probably should lower it a little bit more. Okay, so we'll grab those and we'll just use our slider this time. Okay. It looks like we could grab this next edge loop in as well and do the same thing. We need to knock it down a little bit. So select my values and then just bring them in until they sit on the lens. Okay, so that piece should be done. So press F8 a couple times. And there it is. So our lens is being shrunk and grown. So if I wanted to be really picky, I could adjust the weighting information on this also, on the lens. Okay. So let me add this to my layer here. And press F8. And on this one, on the lens, the front of the eye probably should be controlled 100% because we should be changing the shape of the lens. I know I'm getting really picky on this, but I mean, might as well. We're on it. But the back probably shouldn't be affected at all. So back here, so let me go to my top view. I'll select all of this.